Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, Pokemon has a commander format? Oh, not quite. Gym Leader Challenge, otherwise known as GLC, is very similar to Commander on the surface level. Both formats are all built around one type or one color, or singleton except for land and energy. Both formats have an expanded card pool, with Pokemon going back to expanded, and both formats have a small ban list. However, there are some key differences that you should probably know about. For instance, Magic decks are 100 cards and your player HP is increased to 40, while Pokemon sticks with the 60 cards, 6 prize cards, which is the same as standard and expanded, which there's a reason for that. In Magic Commander is a multiplayer format where you can have 2 or more players playing Commander at once. It gets a lot more crazy and hectic the more players there are, but the multiplayer aspects of Commander is the reason why so many people who play GLC still play Commander, because, shocker, GLC is inherently a 1v1 format. Now, Pokemon did try to do 2v2s back in the day, but that's not included in our expanded move pool, and it didn't really take off, so it doesn't really see competitive use at the slightest. And that could be a pretty big breakpoint for Commander format. Commander players are used to being able to play with their friends all the time, whereas GLC, if you want to do that, you also need to probably set up a tournament so everyone can play each other. But despite this, GLC has some pretty cool features. Because of prize taking in Pokemon, a singleton format is very interesting by nature, because your cards can get prized and force you to take different routes because something is missing from your deck. There's also a ban on rule boxes. Rule boxes are typically multi-prize cards, and getting rid of those slows down the format significantly and reduces the power level, making everything a little more slower and more intricate and interesting. Other rule boxes that are banned include Prisms, Ace-Specs, and Radiant Pokemon, which are all really powerful cards with powerful effects. And a lot of these cards make the expanded format, which is the same card pool, a very hot mess of just the newest cards with the most broken old school trainers. Because of the ban on those cards, GLC is a lot cheaper as well. We don't have to go out and buy old school EXs, instead we buy $15 Roserades or $15+ Goodbyes, which are the exception to how expensive things can get. Most of the time, I am sitting over here complaining that I have to get another Floatstone or a Tag Call or a Goose Hala, and these are just the regular prints of these cards. I don't have to sit over here forking $40 for an uncommon. No, I do that to get a pretty card for my deck. Another reason why GLC is vastly cheaper is Pokemon has more fanatical collectors than players. Pokemon is a franchise after all, and most of the crazy people who want the pretty cards spend all their expensive money into ripping open packs and going after chase cards and grading them, while GLC is just for people who want to play the game and have fun and have an in-depth, interesting format that they can just play with their buddies. And because it's super casual, technically you're also allowed to use foreign language cards and custom cards. Of course, always clear it with the judge first, and make sure you have legal copies of all the cards in your deck, especially if you want to play in side events at regionals. Sometimes the judges there can be sticklers, but at your league, you can run a whole proxy deck for all we care. We just want to have fun and play the game and enjoy playing this interesting format together. It doesn't matter to us whether you have proxies or not. Another really cool thing about GLC is a gym badge system. This is encouraged by the creator of GLC himself. Gym badge systems are where if you win with a specific type, you earn a gym badge with them, and this creates a little bit of competition to see who can get the most gym badges within a given year. And because of that, you are often encouraged to build different decks and figure out piloting different things. Adds a lot of different depth, and it's also means every single tournament is never going to be the same, because someone is always going to win and someone is always probably going to play with a different deck as well. And in general, compared to Magic the Gathering Commander format, GLC is a lot more chill and a lot less stress. It's not a high competitive, grumpy place, though you will always get people out of that crowd no matter what game you're playing. But if you want a card game where you can just have fun and play interesting decks, GLC is a pretty good fit for that. So, GLC is not Commander in the slightest. In all honesty, it's probably closer to the Pauper format, where it's affordable and you don't have to compromise the competitivity of your deck just to build something cheap. And GLC, with the surface similarities to Commander, is probably a really good place for Commander players to start in the Pokemon format. However, there's a slight problem with GLC because it's such a chill, small group. Finding locals that actually run GLC can be quite a challenge. Of course, the community has risen up to this challenge, and there are cam games as well as Twin Leaf to play online. And why don't we use live? Because live is garbage and doesn't really have expanded at the moment. It's kind of exciting to join GLC at this point in time too. It's a young, growing community of people who just honestly want to have a fun time. It's not super over-the-top competitive, and it's probably never going to be main stage on Pokemon regionals or internationals in the slightest, but that's okay with us. We are perfectly fine just being able to play it casually. And if you want to see some examples of videos of GLC, there are plenty of starting guides. There is even one built by Andrew Mahone, and I have plenty of videos over here about GLC myself. Anyways, I hope this comparison between Magic, Commander, and GLC kind of gave you some insight to the format as a whole, and I hope it tickles your fancy just a little bit. Anyways, that is it for this video. I'll see you guys all in next week's video. Bye!